Happy Holi everyone! Welcome to my ancient Indian village. Today I'm going to be sharing a retelling of the famous festival, Holi. It begins in the royal courtroom of King Hiranyakashyap. He was being bossy and telling all the people in the kingdom that he is the new god. But his little son Prahalad was busy doing something else. I am the bestest, the strongest and the bravest, said Daddy King Hiranyakashyap. The people in the royal courtroom shivered in fear, but little Prahalad was too busy colouring and chanting.
God and me.
Prahalad, what are you chanting? It sounds dreadful.
Keeps God
And what's that monstrosity you've drawn? Is that you playing with that Vishnu on my king-size garden lawn? When I chant, Daddy King, the sounds I create help me feel balanced with nature outside and within. For me, God Vishnu is my best friend, said Prahalad. You think Vishnu is the best? No way! Let's put this best friend of yours to the test. Through yoga, I have such energy that no one can possibly top my brain or my mighty powers. Vishnu can't beat me at anything. Not chess, not even climbing the tallest of towers. Don't be afraid of Vishnu. Just chant my name instead. Be really scared of me. Chant God King Hiranyakashyap, said the king. But Vishnu is not scary, said Prahalad. And yoga that helped you really came from God Vishnu, you see. The king was super embarrassed. His own son saying this in front of all of the people, saying that someone else was the best. How dare you, shouted the king. I am the most powerful now, so stop chanting at once, or I'll find a way to stop you. Is this your god Vishnu? He's just standing still. He can't do anything. But I, Prahalad, am the most powerful. I will show you how scary a god I can be. Prahalad just wanted to believe what he thought was true. Chanting was the one thing that made him feel close to God, and he did not want to stop. Prahalad kept on chanting, so the king put Prahalad into the forest of doom. Just do as I say, my son, or forever you'll be lost and live in this gory gloom. Prahalad kept on chanting.
God and me are not far apart.
King was not happy, so he put Prahalad in the darkest, coldest cave of echoes, 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 echoes. Just do as I say, my son, or stay in the dark. From here, Vishnu won't even hear your bellows. Prahalad kept on chanting.
God and me are not far apart.
The king was not happy, and he pushed Prahalad towards leaping lions in a cage. Just do as I say, my son. I wouldn't want the hungry lions to eat you in a rage. Still, Prahalad kept calm and kept on chanting. The lions began to sway and sat still, listening to the calm chants coming from Prahalad. The king couldn't believe this, and so he kept trying many different ways to stop Prahalad from chanting Sri Hari Vishnu's name. You must be playing tricks on me. But I know a better trick to win this game. I'll call upon my sister Holika. She will use her special power on you, boy. And then you'll see. I'm the new god around here. Your Vishnu is just a toy. Holika, King Hiranyakashyap's sister, was not very pleasant neither. She had been given a very special power by the divine being Brahma because she had been very good once upon a time. It was a special cloak with powerful energy. She wore it like a hood, and when she put it on, no fire could harm her. She sat on a stack of wood with Prahalad on her lap, but she didn't share the cloak. The king's soldier set the stack of wood on fire. Oh no, Prahalad was in danger, but he kept on chanting.
God and me are not far apart.
The element of wind, the element of fire, sensed something was very, very wrong. This is not how the special cloak should be used. Prahalad stayed as calm as he could. God and me are not far apart. Chanting Sri Vishnu keeps God in my heart. As Prahalad chanted, the sound waves surrounded him and kept him cool. The fire element decided to make Holi get hot and sweaty. Whoosh! The wind element smiled, blowing the cloak, which fluttered and landed on Prahalad instead, keeping him safe. Holika realised she shouldn't have played with fire and remembered Brahmadev's words. Use power only for the good, or your power will not work for you. The king was so angry. He knew Vishnu was helping his son Prahalad, and so he decided it was time to use his own powers. I have such strong powers I have gathered from nature. Absolutely nothing can harm me. Not a man, not an animal, not in the day, and not even at night. What can possibly harm me? And so he went to stop his son from chanting. The king didn't know that at the time of twilight, his powers would actually become weak and small. He thought he had it all covered, but he was outsmarted. At the time of twilight is when the king's powers would become weak and small. And just then, God Vishnu appeared in the form of Narasimha. He was not a man. He was not an animal. It wasn't the day, and it wasn't the night. The king screamed, "Ah!" He was most frightened at the sight. Narasimha said to the crafty king, "You should have been more responsible and known your power's worth. Powers are for helping others and working in harmony with the elements and Mother Earth. Hiranyakashyap, you have had so many chances, but still such wickedness you show. That's why, from now onwards, your days of kingship are over. It is time for you to go." Narasimha turned and patted little Prahalad on the head. "God Vishnu, thank you for rescuing me from Daddy King. If only he could have let me believe what my heart wants." God Vishnu smiled. "It was you, Prahalad, you who stood up to the king's wicked and cruel tests. The picture you made of us playing on the lawn shows the wonderful world you can create. A world of no showing off, no being bossy. Yes, Prahalad, what a great future king you will make." And this was Prahalad's first Holi. Children, I really hope you enjoyed that story, and I want to wish you the most happiest Holi. Have a great and wonderful time. So what do we remember when we celebrate Holi? There are many events that happened around this time of year in ancient India, but one of the main stories is of Prahalad and of God Vishnu taking the form of Narasimha. God Vishnu took many forms over time to help restore balance when humans were not being responsible and not looking after Mother Nature. Some examples are Ram, Krishna, Buddha. Can you think of any other avatars of Vishnu? Can you imagine what it would have been like to celebrate Holi with Krishna? Must have been absolutely amazing. All the pranks that he played. Apparently, he was a little child in Vrindavan, and his friends, the boys and the girls, gathered on the banks of the river Yamuna, and apparently he started a water fight. And yeah, the tradition of this coloured water fight started from there. Traditionally, they use saffron and rose water, and now we've gone on to use powders, and we do have to be careful what chemicals are in them. So do make sure you get your grown-ups to check what are in the powders before you use them, because you don't want to damage your skin or damage the environment. So just be careful what powders you're using. Yet some people say that the tradition of the coloured powder fight happened because Krishna was jealous because he had dark skin and Radha had fair skin, and so he coloured her in powder to stop her from having fair skin. I don't believe that to be true at all. The message of Radha Krishna is that they are eternal best friends. They love each other. They care for each other. The colour of the skin doesn't matter. And actually, the colour represents celebrating each other's differences. Everybody's the same colour that day. We're all in lots and lots of different coloured powder, and nobody's looking at money, how much money you have, or what skin colour you are, or what your background or home life is. Everyone is just the same, and that is really the true message of Holi, the colour of love. It's how we should live vibrantly, joyfully and playfully together and care for each other. Some people say that Krishna's skin colour was blue. In fact, they say Vishnu was blue, Shiva was blue, and they give lots of different colours to the forms that God takes. But actually, it's not the skin colour, it's the aura that Krishna carried, the field of energy that surrounded him that had a blueness to it. And it was only certain people that would all be able to perceive that they could actually sense that blue aura. Not everybody was able to see that. And it was usually those people that lived in a certain way. That way is a way of life called Sanatan Dharma. In the West, we have been labelled as Hindus, but actually, it's not a religion, it's a way of life. So Sanatan Dharma is actually the way you live life. And Prahalad in the story did his form of yoga, and he followed a certain way of life, and that's why he could perceive and see God Vishnu. King Hiranyakashyap also followed a certain way of life, but anything that was of a good energy, he put to bad use, and so did his sister, and that's why he got the results that he did. Another aspect of the colours that we see during Holi is this period of twilight, all the amazing colours that would have appeared in the sky. And the colours of Holi really remind me of this time of twilight where God Vishnu would have appeared as Narasimha to help protect little Prahalad, just because of the devotion that he showed. And it's truly, truly inspiring that no matter how scared you are, because we all get scared, but to keep calm and chant and be brave. And that's what Prahalad did. And to find strength in something that keeps you so balanced. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your support. Take care. Bye.